Hello my fellow trainers and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Go PvP Showcases. Today we have some more Great League battles for you, so if this is content that you enjoy, please like and subscribe because I really enjoy making these videos. Now for this team that I built, I remember I was in a mood. I really wanted to use Beedrill, and I also really wanted to use Raichu, so that's what I did. I just made a team with Beedrill and Raichu, and I decided to put them around Machamp, because I am genuinely frightened to not have a counter user on my team, because counter and, well, just fighting in general is very good in the Great League meta, because there are so many things that can be super effective against, like Bastiodon, G-Stunfisk, Scrafty, Umbreon, just to name a few. The list goes on and on. So, made this team on the fly, and we decided to run with it, and it actually did pretty well for me. And we're going to showcase some of those battles in this video right about now. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the first battle of the showcase. Alright, so in the first battle, we get Machamp into Lucario, which is a great lead for us. Lucario is a fighting steel type, which means we'll be doing super effective damage with our counters. Our opponent swaps out into Seismitoad, which is okay, I guess. I'm just going to go straight into the cross chop, excuse me. Maybe try to force a shield. We do get the shield, which is awesome for us. And I don't switch out here because Beedrill and Raichu don't really have anything for the Seismitoad. So I'm going to just stay in with Machamp. And I do shield here because Sludge Bomb would have done pretty good damage to our Machamp. Sludge Bomb is a pretty powerful move, and Machamp is not that bulky, so good thing to shield him there. I go for another Cross Chop. They don't shield it, but that's okay. We go ahead and easily farm down the Seismitoad, and they bring out a Stunfisk. Not a G-Stunfisk, but a regular old Stunfisk. And we go into Beedrill here, because Beedrill has Drill Run. And I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, even if this is a mud shot, oh, it's a discharge, but it still chunks for a lot of damage, but that's okay. We're going to be able to get to this Drill Run. But as I was saying, I think ground is not super effective to Beedrill because of the bug typing. We go for the Drill Run, and oh, they don't shield, so that is very clutch for us. They did not expect the Drill Run there, and the Stunfisk takes the big hit there. They go ahead and farm us down, but that's okay. We have the Stunfisk very low on HP, and the play is clear to see here. We bring out Machamp to farm down the Stunfisk, and the rest is easy money. We have two Cross Chops ready to go. This one is going to force the shield, and we're going to get a good W in that one. So yeah, Beedrill really came in clutch there. I'm telling you guys, Drill Run is so good on Beedrill because, you know, you can really threaten a lot of different Pokemon in the meta, because Ground is also very good in the Great League meta. Ground is super effective against 5 different types, if you didn't know. One of them being electric, so that's why we did so good against the Stunfisk there. And of course there's a bunch of other steel types running amok in the Great League that Drill Run can be very good against. And Beedrill is also good because it has Poison Jab, which is good against fairies. It's just a very good core breaker Pokemon. For the next battle, we get another Lucario lead. That's right. I remember I had 2 Lucario leads in a row, which was pretty crazy. They do swap out into Cresselia, which is not so great for us. We're going to go into Raichu here because I just wanted to get some good neutral damage on the Cresselia. I don't really have much else for it. I go ahead and shield the first one here because Raichu is so frail. Raichu hits pretty hard, so those electric attacks, those Volt Switches, are doing pretty good neutral damage. They go for another Grass Knot, getting them pretty quickly. I don't shield that one. Raichu is so frail, unfortunately, but apparently I just wanted to go for the nuke. Wanted to flex for the showcase video for you guys, so I go for the Skull Bash here. Unfortunately, it doesn't land, but we do get the shield, which is good for us. And then Cresselia launches another charged attack at us. I shield it? That's a questionable call on my part. I probably should not have shielded that, but I go right into another Thunder Punch to get some good neutral damage in on this Cresselia, or possibly another shield. They shield it. Okay, so that actually worked out pretty good for me. They bring back out the Lucario, and I'm obviously going to come back in with Machamp here, straight into the Cross Chop, and that's going to be a bye-bye, see you later for this Lucario. Rah! Right out of there with that steel typing. Fighting is super effective against it. And then I bring out Beedrill, who actually is a pretty okay matchup against Cresselia. We do take super effective damage from the psychic attacks. Moonblast, Beedrill can actually eat those all day because we resist Fairy. X-Scissor is going to be doing super effective damage to the Cresselia, but we did get the attack debuff from the Moonblast, but it's okay. We still take it out, and in comes an Umbreon, which is actually pretty good because we have Beedrill, the MVP of these battles thus far, with X Scissor. Bug is super effective to Dark, so we're able to get some good chunk damage in on the very bulky Umbreon. And you guys already know that I have Machamp in the back, so this should be pretty easy money for the rest of this battle. I go ahead and get another X Scissor, and that just kind of seals the deal on this one. We can easily come in with Machamp after this lands and farm down this Umbreon. He gets to I think that's a Dark Pulse, but it's okay. Remember, Machamp as a fighting type resists Dark type attacks, so we eat that one, go into the Cross Chop, and that is going to be a very good win for us. Yeah, Beedrill's doing good things, man. Like, I was really impressed with how well it performed in these battles. Beedrill is a Pokemon that I invested in last season, but I didn't get to use it too much, so I definitely want to try to use it on more teams going forward. Alright, so in the next battle, we get Machamp into an Alolan Ninetales. Now, this could be catastrophic for us, but fortunately the Ninetales is a Powder Snow Ninetales and not a Charm Ninetales. But all the same, we still swap into the Beedrill here, save our energy on Machamp. Beedrill can eat that Weather Ball, and they bring out an Alolan Marowak. So our only hope of doing big damage here is to go straight into this Drill Run, because Ground is super effective against Alolan Marowak's fire typing. What does my opponent do? They don't shield it. Beedrill is absolutely laying the smack down right now. Let's go. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you guys, I was so impressed with Beedrill in these battles. We have to block the Shadow Bone there on our Kanto Raichu. He can easily farm down the Marowak. I had to block that one because of the potential Bone Club, and Shadow Bone would have been doing big damage too. They bring out a Clink Clang, which is interesting. I have not seen too many of those, if ever, in the Go Battle League, so interesting choice of Pokemon for my opponent. They block the Thunder Punch, which is great for us. We can go right into another one. That's the good thing about Raichu with Volt Switch and Thunder Punch. I mean, you can just load them up and fire them at your opponent to force shields or do big damage like we see showcased right now. I don't know if I block this or not. I don't think I do, which was a good call on my part. It's just a mirror shot, which we resist. They bring back out the Ninetales, and I think I go straight into the Thunder Punch. I do. Hopefully this can force the shield on the Ninetales. Let's see what my opponent decides to do. They don't shield it. I'm telling you guys, Thunder Punch hits so hard. Raichu is such a hard-hitting attacker. I'm going to save my shield here in case of worst-case scenario. We can farm down the Alolan Ninetales with Machamp, and then honestly I don't even need to launch throw my energy. We can easily farm down the Clink Clang for another victory. So like I said, Beedrill, he is just absolutely nuking things with that Drill Run in these sets for me. But let's go ahead and hop into the next battle of the showcase. Alright, so next up we have Machamp into a Drifblim, which is a terrible lead for us because Drifblim, being a ghost type, resists those fighting type moves. I go for the Rock Slide, trying to get some super effective damage, hoping my opponent actually doesn't shield this, but let's see what they decide to do. They do shield it. They see the Rock Slide coming, and I have to make a choice here. I don't know what I do. I think I just let it go. It's an Icy Wind. He tries to debuff my Machamp. So I try to work up to another, or get a little bit of energy, and I go into Raichu to do some super effective damage to the Drifblim. But unfortunately, it is a Swampert who is absolutely going to destroy this Raichu. Have to block the Hydro Cannon. I think I go for another Boom here. Oh no, actually I just go for the Thunder Punch, hopefully trying to shield bait my opponent. Let's see what they do here. They don't shield it, so they're not buying into my bait at all this game. They I go for another Thunder Punch just to try to get some more damage off. They don't shield that one either, so we do have the Swampert low, but at the same time I believe I just let my Raichu go down here because I don't want to waste my last shield. Raichu does get taken out, and who do I go back into here? I go back into Machamp to hopefully try to get another Rock Slide, but Drifblim comes right back in, loaded up on some energy, and I do decide to shield in a last-ditch effort to try to get to the Rock Slide, but all my opponent has to do here is simply shield, and they've pretty much got this game in the bag because they have another Pokemon alive, and I don't think Beedrill can really do much too much of anything here. Drifblim still resists poison type attacks because of the ghost typing, I believe. So all in all, this was a pretty inevitable end for my team going forward. I mean, Beedrill is just getting debuffed and doesn't really have anything to hard counter this Drifblim. And they get to another charge move before us, and they Icy Wind us, and they go ahead. I think I had hit the X Scissor before they had gotten that Icy Wind off, so that's the only reason we hit this charge move here. X Scissor isn't doing much of anything, and I just decide to top left, and that's a good game to my opponent. You know, the Drifblim had us on the ropes from the beginning, so, you know, that's what happens when you get an unfavorable lead sometimes. Alright, next up we get Machamp into Bastiodon, which is the most beautiful lead ever, by the way. They immediately swap out, as they should. I get a Cross Chop loaded up on Machamp, and then I swap into Raichu, because I basically want to trade punches with these electric type attacks. They do hit us with a lunge, which we take quite a bit of damage from, but the point of me bringing Raichu in here is because he resists those electric type attacks from Galvantula, and I can also hopefully force some shields with mine. Thunder Punch, if you're wondering why I go for that, it's because it's a super spammy move, and Galvantula, even though he resists electric, he still takes quite a bit of damage because he is pretty frail. And to our success, we get both shields with the Raichu here, which is awesome. We still have both of our shields while our opponent's shields are down, and I think I go into Beedrill here just to try to get some energy on him. And I don't know what I do here. I do decide to block it in case it is a discharge. They throw a lunge, which we could have taken on the chin. They immediately go into another one, so I'm predicting another lunge, which we resist with the Beedrill. So we take a little bit of resisted damage, but our attack is debuffed quite a bit here. And they go into a Bastiodon, which is actually fine for us. Remember, we have Drill Run, and ground is quad effective to Bastiodon because of its rock steel typing. Now that should have done a lot more damage, but remember, we were debuffed quite a bit from that Galvantula. So we bring Machamp back in and immediately throw this Cross Chop to go ahead and nuke the Bastiodon. Taking it out, no questions asked. We're quad effective to it. And they bring out a Shadow Victory Bell, who hits like an absolute truck. I have to go for a Rock Slide here because Cross Chop would be resisted due to Victory Bell's poison typing. We don't quite get it down, but we go ahead. We're getting close. We both take each other out with that one there. And this is coming down to a race. Galvantula's holding on with 1 HP in a dream, but Beedrill does have a shield, and we are able to go ahead, farm down this Galvantula, and get a very close but also a very strong win. So that was actually a really good game because my opponent was able to debuff that Beedrill. Had Beedrill not been debuffed there, that Drill Run would have probably ended the game quicker, but it's okay. We still get the dub, and Beedrill is still shining on him. So next up, we get Machamp into G-Stunfisk, which is an amazing lead because we're super effective against that steel typing, but catastrophe ensues. We got to get Machamp out of there. We can easily swap into Beedrill to do super effective damage against this Ninetales. The Ninetales knows Charm, so it's not going to be getting to its charge moves quite as quickly. We get to that X Scissor, do a little bit of resisted damage. I was really trying to force a shield there, but it's okay. I go ahead and I don't shield this. Weather Ball does a good bit of neutral damage, but I think we're able to go ahead and safely farm down that Alolan Ninetales, and they bring in a Wigglytuff, which is, I mean, we're in a okay position. I have to have Raichu take out this Wigglytuff, though, because Machamp has nothing for it. They block that X Scissor, which is good for us. They were probably anticipating a Sludge Bomb or something, and Raichu does pretty good neutral damage against the Wigglytuff, and my opponent swaps into their G-Stunfisk to eat this Thunder Punch, which is a fantastic move on their part, doing nothing to that G-Stunfisk, but I can, by the same token, swap back into Machamp and go for some super effective Cross Chops and counters. Let's see what they decide to do here. They don't shield it, and by that same token, we're going to go ahead and farm down the G-Stunfisk, so Machamp did some good things for us. We go into the Rock Slide here because due to that Fairy typing, our fighting type moves will be doing nothing at all. They shield it. They have to respect it. I do as much damage as I can with Machamp to do some damage to the Wigglytuff, and we are able to get to a Thunder Punch here to go ahead and close out this game, but that was actually very close because Charm just does so much damage, and Raichu is pretty frail. As you see, we're getting a bit of lag here. I think Raichu is channeling his focus, putting all his strength into this one attack to end the battle. So we actually won that game with both of our shields intact, but it was very close. Raichu was hanging on by just a couple of HP. But hey, a win is a win. Alright, so for this last battle, we get Machamp into Dragonair, which is a pretty neutral matchup for us. We'll both be doing normal damage to each other. However, that Dragon Breath does such good neutral damage as a fast move. I go ahead and commit to the Cross Chop here, which works out for us. We do get the shield from our opponent, and I'm trying to load up to another Cross Chop with Machamp. I tried to go into Beedrill there, but I'm kind of glad it worked out this way because I decided to shield it to save Machamp, and if the Beedrill swap would have been successful there, then I probably wouldn't have shielded, and the Dragon Pulse would have done a lot of good neutral damage to Beedrill. So they bring out a Glalie after we successfully farm down the Dragonair. I go ahead and go into a Drill Run to see what my opponent decides to do. They block it, so that's great. We go ahead and get both shields down. I just go for the X Scissor, trying to get as much good neutral damage in as possible. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but, you know, any damage is damage, so that's what the goal is. And before they farm us down, we get to another X Scissor, and this is going to take out the Glalie, and we'll see what they have in the back. It is an Altaria. So this is an okay matchup for us. Raichu actually does pretty well against Altaria. Remember, Altaria does not resist electric type attacks due to that flying typing. So electric, while it doesn't do super effective damage, it does a good bit of normal damage, and those Thunder Punches do add up. We have a shield, so I'm going to commit to that. Go ahead and try to do some more good neutral damage with these Volt Switches, and then go into this Thunder Punch. I don't think it takes it out from this range, but, you know, the victory here is pretty clear to see. We go ahead, it gets it down to a sliver of HP, and my opponent just goes ahead and gives us the W. So, okay, all in all, I was really impressed with this team and how well it did. Don't get me wrong, I lost a couple of games with this team, but it also had some really epic moments that I feel were showcased well in this video. And, you know, I really enjoyed using the Pokemon that I wanted to use that day, which were Beedrill and Raichu. So if you guys want to give this team a try, feel free to do so. If you have any teams you would like to suggest for me to showcase in the future, please comment below, or just comment anything in general that you would like to see. So with that being said, my fellow trainers, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you guys in the next video.